Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And today, we will continue our read aloud to Come On Down, the Magic Treehouse, tonight on the Titanic. So last time we read about the Magic Treehouse and what it did. And them going to and they have to do 4 more missions. And today we will continue with the unsinkable ship. Woo! Let's go. Alright, here we go. Let's start off. Arf, arf. Jack opened his eyes. He shivered. Wherever they were now, it was cold, very cold. Teddy barked again. Shh, said Jack. Annie shined the flashlight on her clothes. Wow, we're dressed like old-fashioned kids, she said. Instead of pajamas and a poncho, she wore a sailor dress and on a long wool cloak. Jack had an overcoat and a knee-length pants with long socks. His backpack had turned into leather. He also had on a shirt and a tie. Where are we? He wondered aloud. Jack and Annie looked out the window. The moonless sky glittered with stars. There was a soft wind and the sound of water lapping. The treehouse seemed to be resting on a wooden deck between 2 giant columns. Jack looked up and saw smoke coming out of the columns. We must have landed on a ship between the smokestacks, he said. But Jack looked straight ahead and saw a box high in the air near the front of the ship. That must be the lookout's nest, he said. Jack sat back in the treehouse and opened their book. Annie handed the flashlight. Let's find out where we are, he said. He turned to a picture of a huge ocean liner. By the light of the flashlight, he read, Late at night on April 14, 1912, an English ocean liner was making her first voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. She was going to New York City, carrying 2,200 passengers. The ship was 4 city blocks long. Most people believed the ship was unsinkable. All men were in 1912, said Jack. He pulled out his notebook and wrote April 14th, 1912. This ship is huge, Eddie. How will we ever find the gift to help free Teddy? Here, there's what he wrote. You can't go looking for a gift, said Jack. You have to wait until someone gives it to you. Right, said Annie with a sigh. Right, said Annie with a sigh. Oh yeah, there we go. There's what we said. Right, said Annie with a sigh. Well, I guess we just have to be ourselves, like Morgan said, and maybe we'll get lucky. This is hard, said Jack. The little dog whined. Don't worry, Teddy, said Annie. We'll free you from your spell. Just then, a shout came from the lookout's nest. Iceberg! Jack and Annie turned back to the window, just in time to see a huge iceberg looming out at the sea. The iceberg was dark with a fringe of white at the top, and it was right in front of the ship. Jack felt a jolt. Then he heard a grinding sound. The ship was scraping against the mountain of ice. Arf, arf, Teddy barked. Shh. Don't be scared, said Annie. She picked the dog up and hugged him. The scraping sound stopped. The ship slipped past the iceberg until they lost sight of it. The night was calm again. See, Annie said today, it was just a little bump. This ship is unsinkable. But Jack was worried. Wait, I have to read more about this, he said. Don't read now, Jack, said Annie. It's time to get the gifts. Come on, Teddy. She picked up the little dog and the flashlight, and she climbed out the treehouse window. Okay. Like 4 words. This doesn't look good. I was just thinking to see how many words there were. Look at this. Look at this. The ship is on the bottom part. It's like scraping against it. Like, this doesn't look good. Hey, don't take the flashlight, said Jack, but Annie was gone. Annie, called Jack. He heard a soft yikes. Annie stuck her head back in the treehouse. Bad news, she said in a whisper. I think you'd better see this. Jack threw his stuff into his knapsack. He put it on and he climbed out the window. Andy was standing by the ship's railing holding Teddy. Without a word, she shined the flashlight on a life preserver hanging from the railing. In big block letters were the words, RMS Titanic. Chapter 3, SOS, which means, I don't know what that means. I forgot. Okay, I don't know what that means. Jack stared at the name of the ship. You know what happened to the Titanic, don't you? He said softly. Annie nodded. It hit an iceberg and sank, she said. But I don't get it. I thought the ship was unsinkable. Come on. I think the ships right now are a little more unsinkable than that. I'm not sure. That's what people thought when the Titanic was built, said Jack, but they were wrong. Ships don't even go through the Atlantic Ocean anymore. Not really. Suddenly, steam gushed out of the ship's smokestacks. Then the engines cut off. The Titanic stopped moving. We'd better go home, said Jack. There's nothing we can do here. We'll have to find another lost ship, a safer one. No, we have to stay and hope, said Annie. We can escape in the treehouse anytime we want, but what can we do, said Jack. This ship's going to sink no matter what. We can't change history, and we can't take anyone into our time with us. Yeah, but maybe there's some way we can help, said Annie. How, said Jack. I don't know, said Annie. Let's look around. Holding Teddy, she disappeared down a small stairway. Jack followed her to a lower level. Annie put Teddy down on the deck. The dog sniffed the chunks of ice that had fallen off the iceberg. The ship seemed strangely empty. Where is everyone? Annie asked. Maybe they're still asleep, said Jack. They probably don't even know the ship hit something. Come on, this was in I don't know, 12 in the morning? Of course everybody's asleep. Nobody knew this thing hit something. Annie and Jack started toward the front of the Titanic. Come on, Teddy, said Annie. The little dog scampered after them. They passed the round windows of different rooms on the ship. Jack looked through them as they went by. He saw extra spikes and rolling machines in one room. In another, there were palm trees, bamboo chairs, and tables. Next, they passed a library filled with books. This ship was like a town, said Jack. Near the end of the deck, they peeked through another round window. Inside a little room, a man was wearing earphones. Jack heard a clicking noise as the man tapped a lever on a black box. What's he doing? Whispered Annie. Jack shrugged. Another man stood nearby. He had a white beard and wore a fancy uniform. Send the international call for help, he ordered the man with headphones. Tell all the ships close by to come at once. We're sinking. Yes, Captain, said the man. Great, they're calling for help, Annie whispered. Jack heard it so. Shook his head. I don't think help will come, he said. There they are. Wait. If you don't know, this guy's name is Captain Smith. And the phrase was, Captain Smith goes down with his ship. That was one phrase. That is Captain Smith. What is chapter 4? Okay. He shined the flashlight on the book and found a picture of the radio operator. He read quietly to Annie. After the Titanic hit the iceberg at 11:40 p.m., the ship's radio operator shot out an SOS. An SOS in the International Distress Signal in Morse code. Unfortunately, the only ship near the Titanic had turned off its radio for the night. All the other ships who received the message were too far away to help. When the Titanic sank around 2:20 a.m., she was all alone. That's terrible, said Annie. What time it is now? Said Jack. I don't know, said Annie. Jack pulled on his notebook and wrote, SOS sent out. Titanic sinks at 2:20 a.m. He's leaving, whispered Annie. Hi, whispered Jack. he and Annie moved quickly into the shadows. The captain stepped out onto the deck. Tell the men to start loading the lifeboats, now. The captain ordered a deckhand. Yes, Captain, the man answered. The captain and the deck had left. Hand left. Annie turned to Jack. Oh wait, it said the captain and the deckhand had left. Annie turned to Jack. And at least that's good, she whispered. Everybody can get into the lifeboats. I don't think it's good enough, said Jack. He read from the book again. On the Titanic, there were 20 lifeboats to save all passengers. The ship needed twice as many. But with all the confusion on board, a number of lifeboats were not even full when they left the ship. Many third-class passengers did not have a chance to get into any of the lifeboats because they were on the lower decks and didn't know where to go. Jack wrote in his notebook, need twice as many lifeboats. Hey, I know what we can do to help, said Annie. What? asked Jack. We can help someone find the lifeboats, he said. You're right, said Jack. With our book, we can find a way to a lower deck. He turned the page to a map of the ship. He and Eddie studied it. We'll start at the grand stairway, said Jack. He traced the path with his finger. Then we'll go down to the third-class cabins this way. Good plan, said Annie. Jack looked back through the door. The radio operator was still tapping out his message over and over and over. SOS, whispered Jack. He took a deep breath. Okay, he said, let's go. And there they are on the grand stairway. We're going to stop at chapter 4. We already have a mark there. Wow, because I read this book before. So we already got a thing. So there they are on the grand stairway. Jack and Annie in the grand stairway. Alright. Alright, guys. That's going to do it for this video of Reading Aloud. Part 2 of Magic Trio tonight on the Titanic. So I hope you enjoyed this video of reading this book. As I always say, like, subscribe, have you on this future content, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.